What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Myron McRae, aka Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. Hope y'all are having a great Friday. Hope everything's been going smooth. Sorry, this video was a little later than normal, but it's still on Friday, so you're about to get this content. And also, you know what? Congratulations on making it to the end of the work week, man. Happy for all of y'all who made it here. So we're going to get into today's docket, a few things on the agenda, and I think you're going to have a little bit more fun today. It's Friday, want to have a little fun with it, but we also got to keep it updated and keep y'all updated on the stuff I've seen. And the first thing I do want to address is I saw an article on Bleacher Report that is talking about redrafting the worst draft picks for teams. So the article was put out by Matt Holder, and what he did was he decided to look at every team's most recent first-round draft picks and said, okay, we're going to decide who's the worst pick out of these selections, and then we're going to redraft that specific player from, obviously, their draft class. So with that in mind, he's taking all the picks from 2020 to 2024. So you had the 2020 first round, the 2021, the 2022, the 23, and the 2024 draft class. And he is redrafting from that person's draft. So it's not like, hey, the 2022 pick was the worst, but we're going to pick somebody from 2017. You get what I'm saying? They have to be in that same draft class, that same tier. So with all that being said, guys, we kind of know who our picks were. And if you don't know, let's just do a quick rundown and recap. So our 5 most recent first-round draft picks. Obviously, we took Derek Brown in 2020, J.C. Horn in 2021, Ike Ekwonu in 2022, Bryce Young in 2023, and then Xavier Legette in 2024. So that leaves the question of who do we think Bleacher Report took as the worst draft pick out of those 5 individuals and who they're going to replace, man? And this is the result that ended up coming to fruition. Bleacher Report says Nani? Xavier Legette is Carolina's worst draft pick in recent memory, and they would replace Xavier Legette with Ladd McConkey. Now, I ain't gonna front to you. I was kind of shocked. I was kind of like taken aback because I for sure was expecting Bleacher Report to say Bryce Young here, just due to the amount of hype Bryce has had as a number 1 pick and through the ups and downs that he's been through. I thought for sure they were going to pick Bryce, but they really shocked me with taking Xavier Legette for this position. And here's what they had to say about it. Here's the reason why. Matt Holder says this: in fairness to Legette, the jury is still out on whether he's a bust, and he could remain a starter this season. However, the Panthers spent a first-round pick on another wideout last April, as the South Carolina product had an underwhelming rookie campaign and could get squeezed out of the starting lineup in training camp. What makes Legette's first-year struggle sting for the Panthers is the fact that another wideout taken 2 picks later was immediately productive. McConkey managed to rack up 82 catches for 1,149 yards and 7 touchdowns last season, and those figures ranked 3rd and tied 4th among rookie wideouts.
Oh!
Woo! Man. Like, one, I don't foresee Legette getting squeezed out of the starting lineup. He, in my opinion, would have to just be flat out atrocious for that to happen. In year 2, he would just have to be flat out atrocious. I do not foresee that. But I also am shocked that they picked Legette and saying his rookie campaign was underwhelming, because at the end of the day, I have to take into account that this team was not a great passing team, at least not until the latter half of the year. You know what I mean? And so Legette having an underwhelming season, I'm not going to hold too much on him for that. Yes, he does need to be held accountable for some of it, because some of them drops, hey, man, they were just flat out bad. You can't be having drops like that. However, not all of that is on Legette. Not all of that is on him. So the fact that he's picked out of the worst draft pick, kind of shocking. And again, this is, hold up. Sorry, guys. Went a little ahead for you. this is one of those things where when you look at the talent, you see it's there. You see it's there. So I'm looking at that. I'm like, you got 5 great guys. I see where they might have went with. And when I'm looking at it, I have a different take. Now, before you kill me, do not kill me in the comment section for this because I will explain it. I will explain. However, in my opinion, the worst draft pick we've taken in the last 5 years,
NANI?
it's J.C. Horn, bro. And the reason being, it's not on talent. It is not on talent. Please let me reiterate. It is not due to talent. It is due to availability. He has been injured 2 of these 4 years, so it is due to availability. And my replacement for him, I would have picked Patrick Surtain II. And I'll be here honest with y'all on this channel. I wanted Patrick Surtain from the jump. That's what I wanted us to take with that number 8 pick. I honestly wanted Patrick Surtain from the jump. I have it on video of who I wanted. We took J.C. Horn. I'm not mad at J.C. I'm not. When J.C.'s healthy, he's awesome. He's one of them ones. But he hasn't been healthy as opposed to Patrick Surtain, who has. And as you see, Patrick Surtain has gone out and become the defensive player of the year. So I don't think I'm crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. A lot of you are going to hate me for that. And a lot of you are going to say I'm crazy to get rid of JC over Leggett. 4 years, 2 of those have been healthy, 2 of those have been injury-riddled. And I get injuries you can't account for. Injuries you can't account for. Like, you can't sit there and be like, oh, I know you're going to get injured. You know what I mean? But based off what I know, based off everything, I would switch out J.C. Horn for Patrick Surtain II. That's just me, man. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I know how y'all get. Sometimes y'all want to be real feisty and whatnot. But next, we want to move on to a potential new uniform on the horizon. Guys. I want y'all to see this because I saw this, and it came from the Sleepy Panthers page on Twitter. It did come from there. However, I think y'all need to see this, man. I think y'all need to see this because the question asked, and they showed this: should the Panthers drop white helmets? Hey, I can't lie to y'all. This white on white, it looks nice. It looks nice. It looks clean. It looks fresh. And honestly, the way the league has been going, a lot of teams have now gone to an all-white alternate or an all-black alternate. We have the all-black already. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually a uniform we have in the next 2 to 3 years. I would not be surprised. And it looks good. I don't know who made the edit itself, but it looks good, and I would say that's the exact way it should look. If Carolina's going to do white on white, that's the way it should look. I don't think they need any be changes. However, I honestly want an all-silver color rush. I've been asking for that since I was a child. I want an all-silver color rush I really do. That's the colorway I want. I think a Panthers all-silver color rush, kind of similar to what Detroit does, but better. I think that would look amazing. I think it would look amazing. Maybe silver, black lettering with white outline or a blue outline, or blue lettering with the black outline. I think it would look great. And that's just me. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. But, bro, I'm saying that I gotta give that. Hey, I gotta give that a round of applause because that joint looked good. That thing looked good, man. It looks great. But guys, now we're gonna move on to the next subject, man. And I think this is gonna become y'all Friday segment. I think y'all actually like this, but it's gonna be Would You Rather Panthers edition. We're back with it one more time. And I have a Would Y'all Rather today I think you're really going to enjoy. So let me break it down for you. Here's the scenario, man. The scenario is this. You're guaranteed to win $50 billion as well as secure a Super Bowl win for the Panthers. But in order to do so, one of the following situations must come true. Which situation are you going to pick and you think will come true? Here they are. Either A, you have 2015 Josh Norman and a healthy J.C. Horn they have to hold 2015 Antonio Brown and 2024 Jamar Chase to under 200 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in a game. Like, that is combined. Jamar and Antonio Brown cannot combine for more than 200 receiving yards and 2 TDs. Or you take 2008 D'Angelo Williams and 2024 Chuba Hubbard, and they have to rush for 200 yards and 2 TDs or more versus the 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense in one game. I know some of you are gonna look at me. I know some of you are gonna look at me like, what? Like, oh, I wanted this to be tough because it was tough for me. I asked my homeboy, I asked him, and he struggled with it for a good minute. So that's why I had to bring it to y'all. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know who you're choosing. And when I look at this man, oh man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I am going with Josh Norman and J.C. Horn, man. I'm going with Josh Norman and J.C. Horn because I've seen what Josh Norman can do in 2015, holding Julio, D-Hop, Odell Beckham Jr., and J.C. I'm putting Josh Norman on Antonio Brown and J.C. on Jamar Chase because if I put J.C. on 2015 Antonio Brown, he kind of getting cooked. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. He's probably getting cooked. But I'm taking that because asking Chuba and D'Angelo to get over 200 rushing yards versus that 2000s Ravens defense, that's a tough ask, bro. That's a tough ask. And don't get me wrong, holding 2015 Antonio Brown and last year Jamar Chase to under 200 combined yards in a game, that's a tough ask as well. That's a very tough ask as well. But I gotta go Josh Norman and J.C. Horn. That's what I'm picking, and I want to know y'all thoughts. What do y'all feel about that? But lastly, guys, one of y'all I definitely has become some of y'all favorite segment. It is time for Panther Nation to speak their truth, man. It is time for Panther Nation to speak their truth, and we got some comments up here. First comment comes in from TJB Ventures 74. Man says, we already have Taysom Hill on our team. It's Hunter Renfrow. You know what? I see where you're going there. Okay. I can see where you're going with that because he might not be as great in terms of the quarterback position, but everything else in terms of receiving, running, he does play special teams, so he can tackle and do that. Okay, yeah, I see where you're going with that. I will say Renfro's just smaller, so in terms of blocking, that might not be as great, but he got heart, and he's blocked a lot of guys who are bigger than him, so I see where you're going with that. I can see where you got that from. Next comes from Marcus Foster, 2270. My man says, I don't think Deontay was referring to the weather when he said his legs were ice cold. I think he meant he wasn't warmed up enough to go in. Still, no excuse to not play when your number's called, but I don't think the weather played a part. Honestly, I would respectfully disagree only because he was playing in the first, the second, and the third. So it's like, you've been playing for 3 quarters. Now all of a sudden your legs are cold, but I would actually, to my knowledge, he was playing up until the third. Now, I will have to go back. If he didn't play at all in the third quarter, and I'd have to go back and watch that game specifically, if he didn't play at all during the third quarter, then you are absolutely right, and I could see that argument. So, we'll put a pin in that, and we might You or me, I might go back and watch it. You can go back and watch it and let me know. If he didn't play at all in the third, hey, brother, I concede, Marcus. You got it. You are completely right. He just meant, hey, my legs aren't warm. But still, like you, and we both agree on, when your number's called, you go in the game, dog. What are we doing? When your number's called, you go in the game. So, hey, that great comment there, man. I appreciate that. And then lastly, this one comes from Edward Little U3Y. I think he means Yui. And Edward says this in regards to the Teppers. My friend, it's so unfortunate you weren't aware of how much the Teppers have given to North and South Carolina since they purchased the team for Big Cat. I post on my page and Panthers fan group, and every time the Teppers make contributions and donations to school and colleges within the region, and not to mention the $2 million contribution they gave to those affected by Hurricane Helene in the North Carolina mountains. The Charlotte region communities love the Teppers for what they've done since being here. The issue is the fans, who despise them for not putting a winning in the region. Some fans even ever had the audacity to say they didn't care when they did what they did within the communities. They want a winning program. I hope you weren't one of the many with this attitude. I make it a necessity to watch your shows after the other gentleman found a new job because you were more thorough with your telecast. I'm disappointed in today's telecast as I see your expressions of not being fond of the Teppers, and that's unfortunate, my friend. I'll continue to watch your podcast. Just wanted to share how I felt, how well liked the Teppers were outside of football. And Edward, I see where you're coming from, and I can understand that. As far as like the Teppers and what they do in the community, I will never badmouth them. I will never badmouth all. I did hear about the Hurricane Helene efforts. I did know about that. And the other efforts I have not been as privy to, but I did know about the Hurricane Helene efforts in that regard. So in terms of them doing this in the community, I'm never going to badmouth them in terms of saying they don't care about the community. I will never do that. In terms of David Tepper's decisions in the front office, in terms of a program and a Panthers fan in that regard, I will still criticize. That's where I don't like him. And I'll also say David Tepper's done a couple things with like his off-field interactions that I didn't like. For example, the whole throwing water on, I want to say it was the San Francisco fans when we lost that game, and then the incident where he walked into a gentleman's store and then knocked his hat off his head. As much as I am a hat guy, I love my hats. You come up into my store and knock my hat off my head, that is disrespectful, and you are at minimum getting shoved into something. I don't care if you are David Tepper. That's disrespectful. You don't just go doing that to people. So that's where I kind of have my gripes with David Tepper, more as specifically an owner for the team and some of the stuff he's done in regards to other fans and things like that. As far as a entrepreneur and a philanthropist in the community, you will never hear me badmouth him because he and his wife are doing a whole lot more than a lot of other organizations whose owners are doing that. And I will never knock him for that. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be notified of when these videos drop. Next, comment below and let me know what you thought about the first round draft picks. Would you have picked Leggett? Would you pick J.C. Horn, or would you have said somebody else was our worst pick over the last 5 years? And who would you have replaced them with? 2, what do y'all think about the all-white jerseys? Do you want an all-white? Do you want an all-silver? Do you think we should change something else? Or this, that, and the third? Shoot, do you think we should change the colors? I don't think so. I love our colors. So I don't think that's the case. And then 3, let me know, who are you picking? J.C. Horn and Josh Norman versus Antonio Brown and Jamar Chase? Or Chuba Hubbard and D'Angelo Williams versus that 2000s Ravens defense? Let me know all of this in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all you Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. Have a great weekend. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.